I used to think I had the perfect life. A stable relationship, a best friend who felt like family, and a future that seemed certain. Zane and I met during our second year of university. He wasn't the loudest in the room, but his calm confidence pulled me in. What started as friendship quickly turned into late-night calls, library dates, and a connection I hadn't experienced before. Within months, we were inseparable. Everyone around us said we were couple goals. And honestly, I believed it. He knew how I liked my coffee, remembered every detail I shared, and made me feel like I was the only person in the world who mattered. For 3 years, we built a routine that felt safe and real. Isla had been in my life even longer. We grew up 2 houses apart, shared everything from school uniforms to heartbreaks, and called each other sisters. She was the loud, spontaneous one, always dragging me into trouble but never letting me face anything alone. When I introduced her to Zane, they clicked instantly. I remember being relieved. It meant everything to me that the 2 people I loved the most got along. The 3 of us became a trio, grabbing dinner, watching movies, planning birthdays together. It felt easy, natural, until it didn't. There were tiny moments, little pauses. Zane would sometimes look at his phone and smile, then tuck it away quickly. When I asked, he said it was just a meme Isla sent. And maybe it was. But there was something in his tone. Or the way Isla had stopped telling me certain things. We used to talk about everything. Lately, I'd ask how her day was, and she'd change the subject. I brushed it off. I mean, why wouldn't I trust her? I kept telling myself I was overthinking, that I was just tired. Work had been stressful, and Zane had been quieter than usual. Maybe we were just growing into new phases. Not every relationship is perfect, right? But I couldn't shake this quiet voice inside me. A voice I kept pushing down. I caught Isla once staring at Zane a little too long when she thought I wasn't looking. He didn't notice. Or maybe he pretended not to. I told myself it was nothing. Just friends. Just a bad day. Just in my head. Still, I found myself replaying moments that once felt harmless. The way Zane laughed harder at her jokes. How she always managed to sit next to him, even when we were all out. I hated myself for doubting them. I hated that I even had to think this way. But the gut never lies, does it? And as much as I tried to ignore it, that feeling kept growing. Something was wrong. I didn't have proof. I didn't have a reason to confront anyone. But deep down, I already knew. I just wasn't ready to admit what it would mean if I was right. It started with the little things. Zane began working late more often. At first, I didn't question it. He'd always been responsible. But when late nights turned into weekends he couldn't explain, I felt the shift. His messages became shorter, his voice colder. He stopped asking about my day. I'd sit next to him and feel like I was miles away. One afternoon, I borrowed his car to run errands. When I opened the glove compartment, I saw it. A silver bracelet. Delicate, simple, something I'd seen before. Isla had one just like it. At first, I convinced myself it wasn't hers. Lots of girls wear the same things. Still, it made my stomach twist. When I asked Zane about it, he didn't flinch. He said he picked it up for his cousin's birthday but hadn't gotten a chance to wrap it yet. I nodded, pretending that made sense. The lie was clean, casual, too easy. Later that evening, I brought it up with Isla. She laughed, said her bracelet must have fallen off the last time she was in the car. Thanks for keeping it safe, she added. Then she hugged me like nothing had happened. It should have made me feel better. But it didn't. Over the next few weeks, I watched them closely, not on purpose, just naturally. I started noticing patterns. Zane would mention something Isla told him, things I hadn't shared with him yet. Like when I was thinking of changing jobs. I hadn't told him, but Isla knew. I asked how he found out, and he paused before saying I'd mentioned it a while ago. I hadn't. Isla began canceling our plans more often, saying she was busy or tired. Yet she somehow always had time to show up at group hangouts where Zane was present. She acted like everything was normal. I tried to match her energy, but inside, I was unraveling. One night, I saw a tagged photo of a friend's birthday dinner I hadn't attended. In the background, blurry but unmistakable, were Zayn and Isla, sitting together, too close, talking while the rest of the group danced. Zayn had told me he was homesick. Isla said she was working late. I didn't sleep that night. I stared at the ceiling and replayed every conversation we'd had in the past month. Every excuse. Every nervous laugh. Every odd silence. I thought about confronting them. Just asking outright. But what would I say? Hey, are you betraying me together? It sounded ridiculous. And if I was wrong, I destroy everything over a feeling. Still, it consumed me. I couldn't think straight. Every message, every glance between them felt like proof. And yet I had nothing. Just a gnawing, quiet certainty that I was being lied to by the two people I trusted most. I didn't want to believe it. But deep down, I knew I couldn't keep pretending. Something was coming. And I was finally ready to face it. I told Zayn I was spending the weekend with my cousin. He didn't question it, just nodded and said, "Have fun." That alone told me something. He'd stopped caring about details. The man who used to track my every move with affection barely looked up from his phone. That Saturday night, I sat in my car across from a hotel downtown. I hadn't planned it, but something pushed me there. A feeling that wouldn't let go. An hour passed. Then he showed up. Zayn walked in alone. No luggage. Just his phone and keys. I felt sick, but I waited. 27 minutes later, Isla arrived. Hair done, dress short, smile casual like she belonged there. Like she'd done it before. Time stopped. I couldn't move. Couldn't cry. I just watched her step through the same doors Zayn had used, and in that moment, the truth landed like a punch. It wasn't just suspicion anymore. It was real. It was happening. I didn't follow them. I didn't need to. What more did I have to see? The next morning, I asked Isla to come over. She did, like always, pretending nothing had changed. I kept my voice steady. I asked her how her night was. She lied, easily, then paused when she noticed the way I was looking at her. Then I asked again, calmly this time, "Were you with Zayn last night?" She froze. For the first time, Isla had no words. I didn't yell. I just waited. Her face crumbled. She whispered, "I'm so sorry." That was it. No excuses, no explanations. Just that. I asked her how long it had been going on. She said months. That it started with long talks after I'd leave the room, and eventually, something shifted. She claimed she never meant for it to happen. That she didn't plan it. That it just did. I wanted to hate her. I wanted to scream. But I couldn't feel anything yet. I was numb. When Zayn showed up later, I didn't speak first. He did. Said it wasn't what I thought, that they'd only connected emotionally at first. Then came the accusations, how I'd been distant, too focused on work, how Isla was just there. I laughed. Not because it was funny, but because the excuses were pathetic. He didn't deny it. He didn't even apologize. Then came the part that shattered what was left of me. Isla was pregnant. I didn't ask if it was his. I didn't need to. The silence said enough. I looked at the man I'd once imagined marrying, at the friend I called my sister, and I realized they hadn't just betrayed me. They destroyed me, quietly, over time, piece by piece. That night, I packed a bag and walked out of the life I thought was mine. And I didn't look back. I didn't cry right away. I felt empty, like someone had turned off the lights inside me and left me standing in a room I no longer recognized. The first few days were a blur. I ignored every call, every message. Zayn texted once. Just once. Said, "I didn't mean for it to happen this way." I deleted it without replying. Isla tried harder. She sent voice notes, emails, even a handwritten letter. I didn't open any of it. Whatever she had to say, I didn't need to hear. Some wounds don't need explanations. They need space to heal. I moved in with my cousin for a while. Started therapy. At first, I barely spoke in the sessions. I just sat there, tired of telling a story that felt like someone else's life. But over time, the silence cracked open. The pain came pouring out, raw, ugly, honest. And that was the beginning of healing. What surprised me most was how many people rallied around me. Friends I hadn't seen in months showed up. My mom, who I hadn't told everything, just held me and said, "You don't have to explain." I know. Those quiet moments reminded me that I hadn't lost everything. Just the wrong things. I didn't stalk their socials. I didn't ask around. I didn't want updates. Whether they stayed together or fell apart didn't matter anymore. Their story wasn't mine to carry. I had my own now, one built on truth, not illusion. Months passed. I found myself again, slowly, painfully. I cut my hair, changed my routine, took a solo trip. Things I never thought I'd do alone. But I did. And for the first time, I didn't feel like half of something. I felt whole. One evening, I opened a blank document and started writing. I poured every emotion, every detail, every moment I had held in. I turned the pain into paragraphs and the betrayal into lessons. I started a blog. Nothing fancy. Just a space for people like me who'd been blindsided, broken, and still breathing. The messages that followed changed everything. Women and men from around the world saying, "I thought I was alone. Your story helped me." I didn't need revenge. I didn't need closure from the people who hurt me. I found closure the moment I chose myself. The moment I stopped needing answers and started creating a new version of me, stronger, smarter, and no longer waiting to be loved by the wrong hearts. I still believe in love. But I believe more in paying attention, in listening to your gut when something feels off, in setting boundaries even when it's uncomfortable, and in never giving people second chances to ruin you. If you've ever been betrayed by someone you trusted, you're not weak. You're human. And you will heal, not because they're sorry, but because you deserve peace. And that's exactly what I found.